Geographically, here at Anfield, Liverpool have closer rivals, but it could be argued there are none bigger than this weekend's visitors, Manchester United.
I think it's the first fixture you look for. I mean, everyone at Liverpool always talks about the Everton because it's obviously the local derby, but I think for me personally, I always looked for the Man U fixture first. It's kind of the biggest game in Britain, I think, and to play in one, it's a great. I mean, the build-up is like no other really. You're looking forward to the game, all months leading up to it, I suppose. But the week before any big game, it's in training you can see that little bit of extra edge to players, and everyone wants to start the game. If you're not being in the team, players want to play in that game. It's a game you want to play in. And there's a certain atmosphere with it when you get to the ground as well, that like there is in no other fixture. The intensity of the game, both sets of fans, the bragging rights, there's just everything. There's everything in this fixture. And I just think to be involved in them as a player is a real honour, but also you've got a real responsibility to perform because the fans like this game so much and they like to win it.
Now, Liverpool, Man United. Great game anyway. Great memories from you. One of your finest moments, wasn't it, the goal?
Oh, I like to live out on that one, yeah, dying out on that one. It was one of my best moments in my career. You know the type of game it is going to Anfield, you know the stick that you're going to get. And it's no different for Liverpool players coming here to Old Trafford. And you take some volleys of abuse while you're playing there, and that afternoon was no different. It was a massive match, a championship decider more or less. And the only time in my career I managed to score 2 goals in a game, so a great feeling to do it in front of the Cobb, your arch enemies, and as I say, the intensity of that game and what it meant to be able to score 2 goals. Probably one of my finest moments in football, really.
In those games, was Sir Alex different? Was the speech different because it's Liverpool?
I would say so. Yeah. We knew what it meant. They were the most successful club in the country, and that was the yardstick for us. We wanted to be like Liverpool and emulate what Liverpool had done, and I think Sir Alex knew that, and there was always a greater emphasis on the Liverpool game. You always knew. I think back then it was the only time we maybe stayed in a hotel the night before a game, whether it was at Old Trafford or Liverpool, because you wanted the team to be together and feel like it was like a bit special, maybe like a cup final if you like. So it was the whole week was really tense, and you built up to the game, and they're very rarely disappointed back in them days.
It's been a good start to the season so far for Jose Mourinho's men, sitting second in the league on 19 points, 7 clear of rivals Liverpool, but with critics claiming that as yet United haven't faced a big side.
There's no game like it, and I think whatever happens this weekend, it's such an important game for both clubs this weekend, because Man United have started the season well but haven't played anyone, in my opinion. Liverpool have played some better sides in the league this year, and I think they haven't performed to the best that they can. But I think Man United have had a lot of credit, but they haven't really played anyone, in my opinion. I think this weekend is a test for both teams. Liverpool, they need a result, they need a performance, and I think Man United because it's the first big test they've had. So there's that. For that reason, I think the it's got the right ingredients.
So I think defensively we've been pretty sound. We're scoring goals quite freely as well, but we've not had a massive test. I don't think there's any getting away from that. We expected more of Everton when they came here. They were in a poor vein of form and struggled on the day. We've not played any of the top 6, so it's an acid test for this team. We look a better side, no doubt, than we did last year. We were dropping points against some of these teams that we've been taking 3 points off and scoring plenty of goals against. But this is a different level. As for Liverpool, yes, they've got defensive problems. I mean, that's playing for everybody to see. But I think some of the football's been terrific. They should have won and had more points than they've actually got going forward. They look as though they're going to create plenty of chances. They just haven't managed to finish them off, and that's something you would expect to change with the amount of quality they've got in there. So I'm expecting a real test against Liverpool, and as I say, the first real big one for United this season.
Jose Mourinho's days of parking the bus seem to be over, but for Liverpool it's the same old story: defensive frailties and goalkeeping errors.
I think because of the results recently, I think there's probably a slight more pressure on Jurgen Klopp than there is on Jose Mourinho. Whether Jose will come and park the bus this time, I don't think he will. I think they're playing with a bit more fluency than what they were. He's got better players. So I think the pressure is on Liverpool to go out and perform. I think Liverpool need to start this game well. I wouldn't like to see Liverpool go behind in this game. I think we need to get in front and stay in front. I think, you know, Man United have got a serious threat in Lukaku. And the Liverpool boys will know all about him. They've played against him when he was at Everton. So I just think the pressure's on Jurgen Klopp most definitely, but I think Jose Mourinho will tell his players to go out and relax, and the pressure's on Liverpool. I think he'll be telling his players that the pressure's on the Liverpool players to perform. They need a performance, and usually when they do need one, they do get one. The manager does get a response from his players, and you know, hopefully again this weekend he sees that. It's not that they've been playing badly. There's just, you know, we've been conceding poor goals, and we've also not in the final third been doing what we have done and what we can do.
When you've got a keeper behind you, you had Schmeichel, and you can go out then and defend, can't you? Because you know you've got that back line behind you. Do you think Liverpool's defence suffer from some of the form of Mignolet and Karras?
Listen, you just hit the nail on the head. If you're a back four, you're a centre half, you certainly want to trust your goalkeeper. Now, it keeps chopping and changing. There's no real clarification of who's the sort of number one goalkeeper there. So I think it does make it difficult for defenders not knowing. If you trust your keeper, you know he's going to come for things, you know he's very rarely going to make mistakes. Then it's a huge shot in the arm for the back four. That's something that's been missing there for a while for Liverpool, and something that eventually they've got to address and put the hat on one keeper and say he's going to be our number one. But while that's still an ongoing process, then it does eat away at the confidence of your back four, I guess.
Romelu Lukaku has certainly hit the ground running with 7 goals in as many games, but for others, the real star lies elsewhere on the pitch.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got somebody in Lukaku who's Didier Drogba, I guess, who you know did ever so well for him at Chelsea, and he's powerful, he's strong, he's quick, and you're putting players alongside him who can make things happen in Rashford, Martial, Matteo. Then we look as though we've got goals in us. We're also a strong, tall, physical side, plenty of power there. So we are an improved side from last year that's you know won trophies, didn't get in the top 4, and maybe struggled to score goals at times. So there's a vast improvement in that. I think Martial's form is been terrific after his season in the doldrums, I guess, last year, where he didn't look happy, his body language wasn't great. But he's come back with a new sort of zest for life and football this season. Rashford is learning all the time, becoming a thorn in the side of many defences with his pace and ingenuity. Matteo, you always know what you're going to get from him. So yeah, I think then he gives the front three the licence to go and express themselves, whereas we're still probably quite pragmatic in the midfield areas and defending. We can defend leads and you know cope with the physical prowess of any other side in the Premier League, I would suggest. But still, I say we've still got the big tests to come.
Lukaku was huge, wasn't it? Getting him in, you know, he's guaranteed goals and he's proved that already. He's scored in every game. He's been a revelation for Man United. He was a major signing. But I think for me, when we talk about that and we talk about letting these players go and play, that's because he's got Matic in there now. He was the instrumental. I can't believe Chelsea let him go, to be totally honest, to one of the rivals. He frees them all up. When Paul Pogba was fit, it freed him up. I think the team feels like they can go forward and he's just going to sit. Don't get me wrong, he's got a strike on himself and he can score a goal. But in the main, Mourinho knows that he stays about and he just sweeps things up and he tidies things up, and every team who's going to achieve something like winning a league or winning a big trophy, they need someone like him in their team, and he was an unbelievable addition to the Man United squad, and he's the one player that, in my opinion, has made them defensively so much more better this year.
And he's freed up the likes of Rashford as well, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's talk about, you talk about Rashford. I mean, for me, not just going forward with Rashford. When I've watched him play, and I've watched him play in Liverpool Man United games last season, it wasn't a really attractive game at Anfield last year. It was 0-0, I think. But I watched him run back towards his own goal and tackle. So, you know, you talk about him getting compared to all these Mbappes and these players all over the world. One thing he's got ahead of them lads is his work rate. He wants to do the hard yards. And, you know, I'm not saying these other lads won't do it, but If you said to Rashford, you've got to put a shift in on the left-hand side at Liverpool at the weekend, he'll be up and down that. As well as causing them problems, he'll get back and help out. And I think he's been a real asset again to Man United. And I think he's just one of those players who likes to play football and just improving all the time. He's been a breath of fresh air for Man United.
It'll be an emotional day on Saturday when the Kenny Dalglish stand is officially opened. But what part will Anfield have to play in gaining a victory for Liverpool?
And Jurgen Klopp will want to get a result for momentum, really, because he'll feel as though he can go away in Europe at Maribor and get the result and then lead into that Tottenham game. If we can have a good week this week, Liverpool, it puts us back on track. You know, you beat Man United, you win the Champions League, you go to Tottenham. What's the problem? You know, that's how I think Jurgen Klopp will see it. And our performances haven't been unbelievable, but we are threatening with the amount of possession we're having. And if we can just up things in the final third, somebody could be on the end of a 3 or 4-0 again, like the Arsenal game against Liverpool. I'm just hoping it's this weekend against Man United.
Listen, if you're playing in a Liverpool Man United game, you understand it doesn't matter who your manager is. You'll get an understanding from the fans at the training ground during the week, from the build-up in the media, the press. They'll understand what it's all about. I mean, it's world renowned. The Liverpool Manchester United game. It's a massive game, and they'll know exactly what it's all about before match day.
So, league position goes to Manchester United. Obviously, it's at Anfield. Where do you see it going?
A difficult one to call. Always has been. You know, even in the time when we were winning the Premier League every other year in the 90s, you knew Liverpool were going to raise the bar, and I think it was like that for Liverpool when they were in the ascendancy. Whenever they played Manchester United, they knew it was going to be difficult. Form book generally goes out the window in these type of games. So difficult to call. I mean, as you say, the confidence is with United at the moment. Unbeaten at the start of the season, going in against a team that's got a few issues. You know, there's talk about the back four. There's talk about Jurgen Klopp maybe going off to Bayern Munich before they just signed the manager, and that he's under pressure. So you know, everything points towards Man United. But as I say, playing in these games over the years, you know that form book goes right out the window. There's going to be a lot of passion involved in the game, and difficult to call. But I would obviously edge towards a United win.
Let's look at the predictions then. What's going to happen? Then it's at Anfield, but they're in the ascendancy, aren't they? And, you know,
yeah, I mean, they're full of confidence. But like I said, I don't think they've really been tested too much this season. And I just think, I always say it because I'm an ex-defender, is which defence can cope better? Can they cope with our attacking players? You know, the Firminos, the Salahs, the Mane. Can they cope with our pace? You know, and our craft of Coutinho and people like that? But can we also defend against Rashford, Lukaku, Matteo, whoever they might decide to play? I know Fellaini's out injured. He was a big blow for them because I think they might have went long at times and been a bit more physical. So, as far as I'm concerned, whichever defends the best on the day will win this football match. And I know we've said it before, but I do definitely believe it this time around, because I think we have got such strong players in both teams in the attacking third. Whoever sorts that problem out will win this game.
And just finally, you said that obviously in your day, Liverpool were the biggest club. They'd won all those championships. Who's the biggest club now, Manchester United or Liverpool?
I'd have to say Manchester United. Listen, the revenue tells you they're probably the biggest club in the world, and you know, recent history tells you that they've been the better side. So United are ticking all the boxes. It took a long time to emulate and get past Liverpool, and you know, Sir Alex Ferguson managed to do that in his time. When you think, when he came to the club, I think there was something like 10 titles behind Liverpool, and now they're ahead of them. Obviously, we've got the European things to deal with. They've got more European cups, so, but that's part of the rivalry. As I say, the two most successful teams in England going head to head. You can't ask for any better. Being a derby as well just adds to the occasion and spices it up. So it's a game. As I say, that was always the one I look for on the fixture list. Even when City were in and out the Premiership or the top flight, it was always a Liverpool game, and I think it still is for the players.
Money on the table then. Where do you see this one going?
I think Liverpool just edge it, 2-1 for me. I think Coutinho to score first for Liverpool. I think he's just been in decent form and he owes the fans a little bit after all the controversy. I think Salah will get a goal for Liverpool. He's been fantastic getting in on the far post and making things happen. But I just think the big man Lukaku is such a threat for Man United at the moment. I think he'll nick one for Man United late on, and it'll finish 2-1 to Liverpool.
You've heard all the experts. Now it's time for you to decide which way this one will go. Check out all the latest odds on betsafe.com, and remember, you've got to be in it to win it.